First of all, before I get started, I want to go ahead and issue another heartfelt thanks to you guys. I see the growth in the channel, and the growth is because a lot of you are sharing the same knowledge that I'm giving. You're on the same page in regards to certain things, and I certainly hope that it helps someone, even if it's just one person. I'm truly thankful for the DMs, the thumbs up, the hearts. For those of you who chime in on the lives, I appreciate that as well. I intend to do this as long as Spirit keeps giving me the downloads. So I've got another one today. And this one is kind of like a piggyback on something else I touched on in a previous audio when I was talking about parental expectations of their children. Ran into another situation with a friend of mine who has expressed his disappointment in his son because his son did not meet with his expectations. First of all, let's dial this back a little bit. Now, I've already told you guys that when you become a parent, the learning does not stop. And just because you become a parent and a teacher does not mean that you are no longer teachable. That's a mistake what a lot of parents make, especially when they have grandparents, they feel they can't learn anything from them because they're older than them. Your biological age don't mean shit if the experience is not the same. It doesn't. So having that mindset, people feel that energy. When people feel that they're being disregarded or placated, they feel disrespected, so they may act out accordingly. And I spoke to a gentleman the other day who, like I said, expressed disappointment in his son because his son didn't follow in the path that he wanted him to go. And I sat and I listened to the story, and this is a common story. It's more common than not it's nothing rare about this. I'm hearing it a lot with people who have grown children. We all have our challenges in regards to our children, but once they get a certain age, regardless of what happened in the past, they're that age. And when they go out into the world is going to see them at that age. They're not going to see the backstory. And there might be a handful of people that might show some sympathy, but the bottom line is when you see somebody who's 20 or 30 years old, that's what the world is going to see. And they're going to expect 20 and 30-year-old situations and 20, 30-year-old behaviors. That's the truth. And when it doesn't happen, and when they don't show maturity, and when they don't act accordingly, and they don't perform, in that station, the world is going to say, screw you. And it's going to keep right on going. They're not going to put the brakes on, people in the world are not going to put brakes on their situation indefinitely just because someone has a shortcoming. They're just not. And I know it may seem mean or anything because, I know some people have conditions, special needs and things like that. That's why they have special services for these people so they can, adapt in a different way. They have special services for these people. So if you have someone who has a special need or requires additional attention, tap into the resources that specialize in those things, because if you don't, that person's going to have a very, very hard time trying to deal with the world as it is. They're going to have a very hard time. And this gentleman has a son, has some minor special needs, but he's not, it's not a situation where he's not functional. It just takes him a little while to do things. But other than that, he's fine. Okay, and I don't know if he just didn't want to accept the fact that his son has these shortcomings. I don't know, but now he's feeling all disappointed because the fella's 32 years old and he hadn't accomplished X, Y, Z. Now I told you guys a hidden reason why a lot of these parents are disappointed in their kids and don't meet their expectations. It has nothing to do with the kids' success. It has everything to do with their success. They are projecting their own feelings of lack toward their children. And the way they do this is they figure, once my kids get grown and they're established, then when I get old, they can take care of me. And the problem is a lot of these people over 65, 70 years old still working 40-hour work weeks because they have to. And that wasn't part of their original plan in their mind. It wasn't part of their original plan in their mind. It was supposed to be once they reach 65, 70 years old, they get retired, do what they want to do, and whatever extra that they needed, that their kids were supposed to be so financially sound, they were supposed to take care of them. That's what they thought in their mind. So it wasn't about, oh, well, he could have done better for himself. No, he could have done better for you. I'm talking to somebody here. Because you wouldn't have such a judgmental attitude if you didn't feel that. Why are you so concerned about your son's pockets and his accomplishments, so much to the point where you don't even care about his feelings, you don't care about his thoughts, you don't care about his aspirations, where you don't care about his spirit, you caring about his pockets and where he's going? Why? Because you know if he reaches a certain level, he'll be able to take care of you. This is not going to be a long one. I'm going to keep it at that. But I've talked to people. Some of them have businesses where they tried to get the kids involved and the kids didn't get involved. And they're walking around here with their bottom lip poked out, mad at the children. Some of them have relationships where they don't even talk to their kids. I opened up this business and they didn't follow me into it. They ain't about nothing. Got grandchildren and everything else. Don't have a relationship with the son-in-law, the daughter-in-law. Don't have a relationship with the grandchildren because their expectations were not met by their child. This child didn't go out and commit mass murder or try to steal millions of dollars or commit assaults or anything like that. This person just simply went in on another career path, and 9 times out of 10 they're doing fine. They chose another career path, but you as a parent running around here with your bottom lip poked out, mad, making everyone think that it is just the most horrible thing in the world they could have done and how disrespectful it was. I'm like, what? Who's doing the disrespecting here? Who's doing it? You just mad because you are retirement age and your ass ain't retired yet because you thought in your mind that your child was going to take care of you, and now that the shit ain't happening and because you didn't set aside enough money to take care of yourself, hello, you going to project them negative feelings on your child when the truth is the ball is in your court. It's your responsibility to take care of you 24/7, 365 all the time. Doesn't matter who comes along. At the end of the day, you got to look in the mirror. You see you. You don't see nobody else. I know what your belief told you. I know what your tradition told you and everything else. But just because you got a belief or a tradition doesn't mean that's going to come out that way. So you're sitting up here mad. Because oh Lord, I got to go out here and I'm supposed to be enjoying my best life. And I got to go out here and look for a part-time hustle. And da-da-da. I've talked to Lyft drivers that had that same story. I've talked to people who work in the Dollar Tree and the convenience stores. You know, they're frustrated. I just turned 70 years old and I'm over here working weekend. Bitter, angry, because their plan for somebody else didn't work out the way they planned. You see how foul that sounds, people? And this is what it is the reason why they got to go back to work. I'm going to tell you the truth. The reason why you got to go back to work, if you're one of these people, this is your punishment for trying to dictate the course of somebody else's life. That's what it is, okay? So you keep your lip poked out because you deserve it. You have no business trying to dictate the course of somebody else's life. I don't give a damn if it is your child. If they're doing okay and everything is fine for them, now, I could understand if they're in trouble and they need guidance. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about people that live lives so narrow. That shit should be enough for you. And you sit up here mad because you got to go to the Dollar Tree on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays and stand up for 8 to 10 hours knowing that you got problems with your knees and your legs and everything else. You didn't set aside any money for yourself because you were dependent on somebody else to take care of you when you got older because that's the shit that you was taught. Well, guess what? You had no business trying to dictate the course of somebody else's life. And as a result, you have to take your ass right back to work. This is your punishment for doing that because that was disrespectful and wrong. And on top of that, you got a fractured relationship with your child because of your expectations. Now it's to the point it's gone on for years. Your child don't even give a shit if they deal with you anymore. Got children and grandchildren. You don't know anything about them. You brought the shit on yourself. It's not all about you when your children come into this world. I've said this before. And anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let that go. You all have a great day.